England.
They should go to the sky, the moon, and back. Down. They will lose. All right, guys, welcome back to Malang Go Podcast.
Tell them what we're talking about.
Make I introduce the show finish.
Hey, I beg you.
Ladies and gentlemen, see who is back.
Sit off.
Zelensky chase him.
Zelensky will chase him
from Russia. He bring him come. He go the street of Russia. He take the picture there in the post. I just called Zelensky. Have you not seen that bald-headed man? Come on, get rid of him quick.
I did the comments. Zelensky say, go back to your country.
He get
Charlie, I say the way that they sell the country, if Sicho had delayed for one more day, like he will come now, then say in house, then in properties he did there. So
right now, your man, you acquired new first name. Right now, your first name be Vladimir. Vladimir Sichov.
Vladimir
Astrimuk.
Sichov.
Yes.
I love the name, man.
Vladimir.
I love the name,
man. Give us a, how do you say, when Russian term you learn? How should it?
Spasiba.
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 I mean, thank you.
Spasiba.
What is the Russian for tap?
Spasiba.
I'm time for Russian insights.
No.
I don't see as I go. And if you tweet something, I tap the tap. The tap will come. Tada. It will come. Tada.
It's going to be original.
The original tada.
But I just say, if like you did Russia, you coined that term, the tap could be Tatov.
Batich.
That is more Serbia, more Czechia. Russia will be the off they need.
Tatov.
That's right. Tatov and Patov. Oh, Charlie, even though he missed an opportunity. He missed an opportunity to have graduated into Tatov. Tatov and Tatov. No, it don't be too late. It's not too late.
Killers don't know, say, before this all go out.
That's right.
They don't know, say, I come.
Yes.
So between this night and tomorrow.
That's right.
Tatov.
Oh,
bro. No, wait. Take a
Sarah, it's good to have you back, man.
Tatov. Oh, my.
This is
my brothers. I miss you.
This is why Zelensky had to end the stage. That's why Zelensky had to end the stage.
He has disappointed me. Zelensky disappointed me.
My head is back on it. No, I miss you.
Coach, he said what?
Zelensky disappointed me.
Zelensky.
He disappointed me.
Like for capture him for there.
For capture him for there. He go there and say, oh, coach. Zelensky, call your friend.
Look, I was listening to that episode of the flight. I feel the tappy say,
are you okay?
Stop.
The boys food too much.
The boys as if you know them more.
I say, but what to kill me the last episode? But what to kill me the last episode of you guys? You guys say, why did you do actually like that? Charlie, you start Achu up where you say, Achu, why have you been there? I say, I've not been well for a while. You see, it's one of those things.
Where have you been?
I've been well. Your man say,
you want to go.
Yeah, you see, it's one of those things
enemies with friends like this.
You can't tap there like they can't support you. We can't revive them. He can't revive them.
You feel like he's sympathizing with you.
That's it. See, I sympathize with you. You can set you up seats.
You can't revive them. I didn't see it coming. Okay, guys, welcome. Sorry about our first 5 minutes of just laughing like fools.
My neck is beginning to hurt. It's okay.
My eyes. I know the Nah. Okay,
let's get a simple question.
Achu, where have you been?
Where have you been?
I've not been well. He finished. Like that's if he finished. But I'm better now.
You see?
I the one go house. I the one go house.
You know the one go.
When they get the seat my hair, where will it touch? Charlie, make we just quick. Do one a pics.
That's
quick
right.
pics.
That's right.
Then they ask the kid. Then he flew. They ask me. Then I flew. Then ask Achuno. He talked the way I look the kid. When they say, Yo.
We don't do brackets. Oh, it's Italy versus who go call. It actually is that make it pick one and move. Now it's stuck. You see, in 1975,
bro, I swear that the moment where he started talking away from my head, I said, "This guy." When I turn on, because you watch my face, I said,
the same thing they walk through everybody. In episode 1, guys. Listen, we are in the Euros final now. We're in Copa America final too. I have to remind you. England versus Spain in the final on Sunday. This episode, we're previewing the final. But on episode 31, the inner episode, we ask you guys to predict. That was when we did the bracket.
That's right.
Which two teams will make the final? I'm just going to go through some of the comments. Some people can say they're smart. Somebody can't put comment there 9 hours ago, Spain versus England. You see, you're like, you figure say who them born yesterday.
It's a very corrupt man.
Can you imagine?
But to be fair, maybe he listened to the show
late
around that time.
No, but
after the final.
Yeah.
When you listen after the final, then you know say you know be qualified
Stop for
again.
dropout.
After the question has been answered.
That tough.
How you go come put the comment there only 9 hours ago? Long after the final had finished.
Corrupt man.
Easy. But you see, this is how I know that people really they watch the show. You know, like we're supposed to separate the bracket one from the preview of the. But they don't separate them into a different video. So it was at the end, I think like the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I could see people coming and putting comments there, putting
Answering questions from
Yeah, they
different
consumed
episodes.
it, yeah.
yeah, so that's how I knew that people watch the thing to the end. That's the challenge. So you guys, you are VIPs, man.
No, I listened to it on the podcast throughout.
The
It was
podcast.
brilliant. Loved
No, it's true. If you listen back the podcast, that's how you believe some of the comments. Because now we really fool. You listen back, genuinely, I can listen back or watch back myself, and I can't stop laughing. It's like what? Yes, like what is wrong with you? I mean, coach, if you watch and they call me, say, friend, but this one, Charlie. So my wife go see this.
As a personal principle, I don't listen to it in office or in public transports.
Yeah, you will end up
Disgracing
losing control of yourself and then
don't try to stop.
Okay, guys, I want to go through some go through and see if we can get a winner real quick. Okay, This is from episode. I've seen somebody said Spain versus Italy. Spain to win. They got one correct, so that's not it. We were asking for which two teams will make the final. Hey, Pale, people are predicted. Somebody said France will win. And then there were people who were very angry with the Jude Bellingham and Lampard comparison in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of them. All right. Somebody did a prediction all the way to the final. And he said it's Portugal versus Austria. That didn't happen. 12 days ago. Now, Spain versus England.
Who that?
Yeah. His name is Yasin Boche.
Oh, but that guy is a solid guy.
And he said Spain to win.
Oh, but that guy is a solid guy.
So first of all, he's predicted right for the final.
Yes.
Yeah.
So write his name down. Yasin Boche. Then you can type it.
Yasin.
Yasin. They're from this my country.
You get Algeria.
Yasin Boche.
As the Bochi can add. No, Yasin. Turkish. Turkish there,
Yasen. Yasin Boche. Okay. Austria versus Spain. This is Prince. Prince didn't get it correct. Raphael says Portugal versus Holland. Portugal to win the final 3-1. Didn't happen. Victor Sadongo says Germany versus France. Not correct. Junior Babsco.
Germany versus France, but they were in the same side of the room.
Junior Babsco. Hold on, guys.
Junior what?
Babsco. Ibabam, that's right. He babbed the team. He says Spain versus England in the final. Spain wins it in extra time.
That's
right. So put Babsco.
Very specific.
When was that?
12 days ago.
Oh, that was pretty very. In fact, that was very, very early.
Junior Bab School.
That's right.
No,
12 days ago, the evidence day there.
He bobbed that in. Yeah.
12 days
You know, say
ago.
some Brazilian name.
That's
Bab
right.
school.
Bab school.
Bab school junior.
Okay.
Basco Junior.
Hey.
Yeah, Basco Junior.
Basco
You know, he doesn't Junior Basco. But Basco Junior with the
Junior.
game.
Brother.
It's for there.
Like
Brother.
Rocket Junior.
Yeah.
Okay, junior.
Brother.
Somebody beat them.
Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Godwin, fear not.
No, I know that guy.
Fearless.
I know that
Godwin,
guy.
fear not.
No, the guy
I know
look
that
at fear.
guy.
He said
Into
what?
12 days ago, he said England versus Spain final.
Woo.
Godwin, fear not.
Bro, there's another one. 2 comments after that. There's another one.
Yeah, that is Bab school.
That's
Bab school.
Bab school. Okay,
We
okay.
read that one.
Right.
So I did go up like this. So we get 3 now, right?
No, but Charlie, this one, quick one. Bab School Junior. Change the name to Basco
Yeah,
Junior.
Basco Junior. Make sure Junior Basco. Yeah, Basco Junior.
Basco Junior.
Like Neymar Junior.
Number 2.
I'm looking for more.
Charlie Vinicius Junior.
Ah, Charlie.
Rocket Junior.
Ah,
Basco.
Charlie.
Shout out to Basco Junior, bro.
Bab school scored. I'm looking for more correct prediction. Oh, another one. Aaron Conla. He also says England versus Spain in the final 12 days ago.
Aaron what?
Conla.
Kola.
Conla.
Conla.
If you predict well.
Bro,
So
12
this
days
one,
ago.
imagine say you go bet way, you go drop that prediction.
Huh.
It's for there. 12 days ago.
Huh.
Today, some guy be chopped.
No, I
some
hope they
18K
did.
on bet.
Today, 18 million Ghana cedis.
18 million or
18 million,
18K.
18 million Ghana cedis. Hey,
18K.
yes, 18 million Ghana cedis.
18 million. What I say?
Yes.
18K. Hey, Boga.
18,000 or 18 million.
If you 18 what?
Thousands or a million.
Okay. K is for what?
Charlie, relax.
You want to collapse the company?
Godfrey Kwanzaa says Germany, Italy, Devisaki, Portugal, Italy. This was also the episode where we were explaining Malla. Go.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one. Really,
Somebody
yeah.
says this podcast is a Malla podcast. If we Malla podcast, I'm back. If it's true.
Then, and I remember right after that episode, Bellingham described the Malang goal.
Thank
Because
you. Right
the-
after.
the England's
And people
game
started
came
tagging
right
us.
after
Yeah. It's
So
true.
I was like, exactly what you're looking for.
Lampard is called Dangbeji before.
Afa.
He's called Dangbeji before.
Lampardinho.
Of course.
Lampardinho.
Where?
Of course.
He
They
wastes.
talk, of course, they did.
Of course.
He
It's
wastes.
211
He
goals.
wastes
So
it. Oh, it's not
I don't
about-
need to
no,
remember.
those
And the
goals-
bicycle
No,
kick days.
no,
Say-
friends.
If you are not,
You are missing
technically
something.
gifted,
Listen to.
You
listen to
cannot
this.
score that overhead.
The waste.
The waste.
Thank you.
Somebody said the most Malang goal in history is Eda's goal versus France.
Yeah,
He
that
has no
qualifies. It
business
qualifies. It qualifies.
Scoring that goal.
He said he's shocked.
It qualifies.
And then he said, somebody to say some Malang goal. I remember that goal. He said, some Champions League, Zappa Costa score some goal
Some goal.
Yeah.
from
the
corner
right
or
side.
something.
Yeah. Some Barcelona
Yeah,
like
the
that.
cross.
Yeah, the cross we go
The
enter.
cross, but they lie say they shoot.
No be Roma.
Ubuntu. It's a Germany,
It's
England.
Chelsea.
That's not
Chelsea.
correct.
What's that name?
Roma or something.
No, maybe Roma. There be some small TV where they make it play.
Yeah.
You guys
They
win
might-
like
it must
6 or
have been
something.
Atletico.
No, be Atletico.
Sure.
Chelsea win that game like
Yeah.
5 or
Fala,
6.
yeah.
Fala.
So you guys make this is Isaac Tereshwayo. Must be from South Africa. He says, you guys make me look like a mad person every time I'm watching Malang go.
We serve.
That's why I
We serve.
Somewhere.
Big Ghanaian. He says, how's the first equalizer against Kotoko in the CAF Confed Cup? Is the true definition of a Malang
No,
goal.
you sure.
No,
That
that
goal-
was last minute though.
Oh,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
my
and then
wasn't
he
against
said-
the script.
Yes.
And
And
then the hands the it
Yeah.
was against the
No,
script.
wait.
Is it the first leg or
The
the
first
second
leg or second leg?
That's in the second leg.
No,
Because
that was
No, the first leg.
No,
No,
the first leg.
the first leg.
First leg.
Yes.
Even Luis Ajman's goal, they had
First
been
leg.
attacking for a while.
No, but you could see it. He said some goals
No, no,
there.
no, no.
The
That
team
was-
was coming.
that
You can
goal
see it
is
coming
coming.
when they dominate.
Because
It
those
was
times-
coming.
Yeah,
the
Yeah, that game-
defenders.
And then
Jump check. Henry, when the ball came, they were just boom.
yeah, they were under siege, like they were
Okay.
under pressure. That ball was coming.
What about this goal? He says,
Charlie, if coach talk the name, he didn't give me.
what about this one?
That's a boom, boom, the ball there.
Arriba.
But they were under pressure. Yeah, the guy.
Sir, look at this one. They go tear the goal.
No, yeah, the guy said that time hearts were like they were dominating. It was coming.
Do you consider the Iniesta goal against Chelsea? Man?
Proper.
Yeah, that Malang.
Proper.
That's right. Okay.
The way he took the shots
They're
off
not doing
balance,
anything.
something and gone some Baslabi.
So,
But some corner.
that episode, too, some people came and they were calling out Cranton. They say you can't give fake stats. They say Rodri lose the FA Cup final. That he no lose game in
I don't
regulation.
me at all.
Yeah. I talk say.
Coach said, he was talking about how you see, we don't get memory. He was talking about why the Spanish team with Rodri in the middle.
No, they lose.
Where they no lose game in regulation.
But I support them.
Yeah, but where I even question you, I say, are you sure? It sounds like one of those fixed stats.
That's actually true.
Yes.
No, but it's true. It was up until the FA Cup. So the league, the
league, they didn't lose again.
Somebody says Chicharito, they score Malang goes pass.
Chicharito to get
in trademark.
In trademark. Malang goes so.
But the Malang go every day.
I'm looking for see if I see another winner because how many we get right now?
Get like 4.
The coach, they said Akpaku says you are tripping. Which technical skills does Jude Bellingham have over Lampard?
Look, all of us seated here. Have you ever seen Lampard dribble before?
Mami, Lampard.
What kind of game? And Jude Bellingham dribbles.
Listen, it is not about
Bellingham
technical.
I'm even shocked for coach.
Do you remember
Lampard? Because of his goals, people underrate his technical ability.
Relax.
It be pass
Chelsea versus Bolton. Them are 0-4.
I saw Lampard in the dribble.
Is a Bellingham be technically more gifted than Lampard? How can you tell me this story?
So, this is Lampard. You've watched him for years. When they say a player has skills, has flair.
Does Bellingham have skill and flair?
We are comparing him to Lampard.
Is he better than Lampard?
No, but you see, I understand. You don't be saying Bellingham get to. But if you are
comparing to Lampard, that is where
it doesn't mean that he's not saying that Bellingham is better than Lampard.
I've got another one.
That ability is not something that stands out in his game.
At all.
Is that what stands out in Bellingham's game?
It doesn't make Bellingham better.
He's not saying Bellingham is better. He said when it comes to skill.
That's the conversation. That Bellingham is better than Lampard.
No. I said he's technically better than him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say the player
the technical ability. And I'm saying that's a
when you say
lie.
somebody's technically better than somebody, you can't only limit technicality to skill and
But he
dribble.
specified.
But so you can specify on that. But the way you
I
look
don't
at
even
other
think
things,
he's a better dribbler, Masami. I don't agree. This one is not about being a Chelsea fan. It's about Lampard being
between the two of them, I think Jude. But between Lampard's game was a lot more direct. You pass.
We have another one. Musa Hede.
Musa what?
Hede.
He says what?
9 days ago, he said Spain versus England final.
Well, right now we are on the 12 days ago. So let's go. Let's do like semis because right now we have people from 12 days ago. If you come 9 days ago, you know, reach.
You go down.
Aston Martin says Malang go gives me football orgasm. If this was a football squad, Anka Achu be goalkeeper, Felix before, Pedro be midfielder, Danny K winger. Coach is a striker. Hold on. And he said, hold on.
The guy is
coach is striker. I said he came what?
He said he came winger. He said Sichobi. Deep line playmaker.
I guess
he said me I be 10, so me I day in front of Sicho.
Oh bro, all controller. Oh yes,
all of us go work for you. How you go score the goal?
Tap off.
And after scoring the celebration.
Oh, the most. Okay. Boy, class.
But we are doing the podcast. The celebration we want.
We are grown ups.
Andrew Newell said he watches the podcast from Jamaica.
Yeah, Wagwan.
I love this podcast.
Wagwan, man. Wagwan.
All the way from Jamaica.
Wagwan.
He's for there.
Jamaica.
Oh, somebody say if we talk about Malang go, we should also speak about Malang miss. And he has one example to demonstrate. No. He said John Terry 2-8 Champions League final.
That one of the people that miss penalty.
Shall I go see the spot where you take the penalty from?
I see.
Shall I see then get some clip of Ronaldo in header for the dressing room side before you go enter the pitch. Then get some screen. It they show all the class. So Mbappe in winner and score, France the next for the World Cup. Those things, Charlie, the Ronaldo in header. As West Brown crossed the ball with a slow and we Ronaldo the jump. Bro.
You know, we asked people to let us know if the concept of Malang exists in their countries.
Yeah.
Your good friend, George Shakwe. George says, I think, speaking to a lot of Nigerians here in the UK, Malang happens to be a thing for them too.
Yeah, I think it's
my biggest recollection of a Malang was the Papi Cisse goal for Newcastle against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
That bend. Yeah, you mentioned somebody. You mentioned it. You mentioned that. Yeah,
I did.
You mentioned it.
Yeah. Zlatan's overhead kick against England.
Yeah. No one see because it's Zlatan. I don't like to do it, Malang, because he scores those kind of goals. Like, if Dan Warbeck does that, it'll be Malang.
The biggest Malang goal has to be the ones that were a lot of those that were being scored under Ferguson at United. The goal, they see the goal coming. Like how Makeda came off the bench to score against Aston Villa. What the heck?
Charlie, this Anthony TV first now.
He take one on top.
They discuss Ibrahimovic right now. I thought they did.
No, you see, if like Danny Warbeck, I say, if somebody like
Anthony go free jump.
All right, guys. We get so DK. I think we finished the comments. How many winners? DK, how many winners we get?
We get 5.
We get 5. Fantastic.
So had the 9 days.
9 days ago.
Because he won't know. It would have been after the round 16.
Yeah.
So he won't know.
Yeah. So
he jumped one.
He jumped one.
I think the 12 days ago, people be there.
Yeah.
Correct. Wild
okay.
predictions.
Musa, they won't remove you from the winners.
You try, but you know. Sorry.
What we go do? Where's our producer? Where's Sultan? Okay, fine. We'll find a producer. We'll ask him what shocks him. What we got there 4 people. How do we reward them? Maybe if they.
Okay, so we should wait.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll give that. So next episode that will come.
Them did say.
Only two eventually predicted the final. The other 2 only predicted the
yes,
finalists.
but we said they should predict the finalists, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Only the finalists. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Anyway, guys, let's look ahead to the final then. Okay, listen. We wasted a lot of time just vibing.
I don't look back on the semis before you look ahead.
We'll look ahead. Okay, cool. Sicho, since you are the returning member.
Oh.
We are grown up, so we come here.
It's kind of you, bro. It's kind of you.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Okay, listen. Quick review of the semi-finals. France versus Spain. Listen, the whole competition, a lot of people said France were just like stumbling their way through and that any real opposition would expose them. Spain certainly did. Beat them to make the final. I don't know, but it was one of those matches where I thought for the longest time, I even thought that France somehow would have found their way back into the game. And they were getting decent chances. Somehow, it just didn't work out. And Spain deservedly in the final. No one can debate that.
Yeah, listen, Spain have been the best team in the competition so far. It doesn't mean they will win it. We'll talk about the final. They probably can as well. But when they were coming up against France, one of the reasons why I thought Spain were going to win was because of how rigid the French midfield looked. They were not dynamic enough. And I was quite surprised that, I know Deschamps is loyal. He likes to keep working with the players he's worked with. But I was quite surprised that he did not trust and start Eduardo Camavinga in the semis after that performance against Portugal. Because I like Adrien Rabiot. I mean, I love him when I watch him in Juventus. But it is when he plays with other players who have got other attributes that he doesn't have that it makes sense. Because what Adrien Rabiot has got is somebody who can just carry the ball, but his carrying is not normally very, very darting.
Very vertical.
Penetrative enough.
Not penetrative enough. And he doesn't see the pass at times when he opens up. But he has great physicality. His work rate is good. He combines well with other players. And he can make an extra run into the box. And sometimes, even if he's not getting onto the end of the ball, he's certainly, because of his frame, attracting players to him, which frees up spaces around him. So he's got an attribute that many managers would like. But France didn't have any creativity or whatsoever in the midfield. And unfortunately for Didier Deschamps, it was Antoine Griezmann who he had relied on to bring that creativity in the last 1 year or so.
Yeah.
So Griezmann was deployed very much in a number 10-ish role in the games leading to the Euros. But Griezmann was so off color in this competition. Didn't really find any mojo about him or whatsoever. So there was no real creativity. And to make it worse, Kylian Mbappe was off color as well.
Yeah.
And the whole
tournament.
Kylian, after the problem, said he couldn't see the ball well, he couldn't breathe well, so he actually had to take the max off at some point. He actually changed the max 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times because he couldn't see, he wasn't comfortable. And other reports said that he couldn't sleep at night, he was almost always in pain. And the coach has coached players. When a player is 100%, there's no way you can. Mbappe's game is so rapid and it exerts a lot of energy because it's so quick.
Yeah.
If he's not 100%, I don't see how he's as threatening as he would be if there are players in certain rules where the style of play might not even demand them to be 100%. They can still be effective.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a player who uses a lot of pace and power, explosiveness, if they are not 100% fit, there's certainly something out of the window. And that was an Mbappe issue. But every other player couldn't step up for France. Griezmann couldn't, Colomwani couldn't, Ousmane Dembele couldn't. Thuram was disappointing. In the midfield, I thought Tchouaméni was good as a holding midfielder. I thought he played very well.
I'm not a big fan of Tchouaméni's game. I don't know why. I've never liked him.
No, I liked him as a number 6. I really did.
I just feel like he's a little too laid back for me.
No, he did his job.
Position.
Yeah.
I think he does the right
He
thing.
did his job.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't. I just feel, yes.
You see, the problem with Tchouaméni is that
I don't think he has enough aggression. I think that's how I...
No, but
people are used to seeing someone like Pogba beside
Thank you.
Kante. And the expectation is that when he wins the ball, beyond allowing the team to breathe with some smart passing, he should be able to do what Pogba does. They're different players.
I think that's I think he defines it well. Maybe because I'm used to seeing Pogba in that position for so long.
It was the coach who needed to see that. He needed to bring some form of variation in personnel.
Yeah.
Because if you have Tchouaméni,
you have Rabiot, you have N'Golo Kante. It's too rigid. Very rigid. And again, there's no doubt. That's why we have special players. Special players who a team can move on without, but they can't replace. A player like Pogba's quality in the French team can't be replaced.
Yeah.
It can't be replaced. And unfortunately, Didier Deschamps, he didn't necessarily alter his team to suit the absence of the quality of Pogba, right? So whereas Mbappe and co now, they didn't need to run in behind or they didn't need to stretch the opposition, but they need to come short to play a lot more. At times, there was too much space, especially against Spain, between the front line and the midfield because they were like, okay, we're trying to stretch them so you send the ball to us. But Rabiot can't hit that ball long. N'Golo Kante would run with it. Tchouaméni as well doesn't have the range in him. But ultimately, there was something that Spain did that was massive.
Yeah.
Apart from the calmness about their game when they went down early to get back into the game, it was just the movement of the only player who stuck very wide in that game for them in the front lines was Nico Williams.
And that was tactical.
Yeah, that was tactical. Lamine Yamal didn't, for most of the time, play as a typical wide player.
He didn't have the line.
He drifted very much inward. And that was also because it could accommodate Jesus Navas, who started on that side. So in the midfield, all of a sudden, the French midfield had extra bodies to deal with because you've got Olmo, who is a problem. You've got Lamine Yamal, who is a problem. And when he boxed that in with Ruiz, when he boxed that in with Rodri, then it's a massive problem. France couldn't deal with them. They were out. So yeah, I thought Spain deserved to go through. France were just hopping and finding the ways to go. In the end, they didn't deserve to be in the final. But just a little one on the England and Netherlands as well. I thought the first half was great for England. They played very well in the first half. Netherlands couldn't cope with them.
Yeah.
And something that was a blessing in disguise, maybe, not necessarily the personnel, was the injury to Memphis. Now, when Memphis got injured, you could have easily brought on Vegas, right? Like for like, striker for striker, what if you like. And he brought on Veerman. Because at the time, that English box midfield of Rice and Mainu and Foden and Bellingham, it was a big problem for Charlton and, Charlton in the middle. Charlton and the Rangers in the middle, right? And so it became a problem. So what he did in bringing Veerman on was that he can now counter that by also playing 4 midfielders. So Xavi Simon, who would play from wide, will end up being in the middle. So it will be 4v4. Quickly after that change was made, was the halftime. Then Malang got off, Vegas came on. And that is why the second half, if you like, was terrible to watch. Because the 1v1 marking, cancelling themselves out in midfield was clear. All of a sudden, the Dutch had 4 men in midfield against England's 4 men in midfield. And
literal definition of boot for boot.
Yes, and one thing that the Dutch lacked was players who could skip past 2 players, 1 player, shot something. So the English structure is there. But nobody really can take the ball and weave. They've not got any natural winger in the team who has got the ability to do anything. Right? So the English structure is still there. They're just passing around them. When England had the ball at some point, I thought Saka looked tired, Foden looked tired, Bellingham looked tired. Harry Kane maybe then wasn't feeling his legs. Then the changes
The
happened.
changes were spot on.
And for me, it is when the coach names a squad, you look at the profile of players they call, and you're thinking the managers know what they are doing, because Watkins is not like for Ivan for Harry Kane.
Yes.
Ivan Toney could be like for Harry Kane because he can drop them involved in the game. He doesn't necessarily running behind. But at the time where he brought on Oli Watkins, I think he wasn't preparing to win the game in 90 minutes. I think he was actually thinking about the next 30 minutes in extra time.
Right.
Because at that time, Stefan de Vrij, Virgil van Dijk, Nathan Ake, Dumfries would have been tiring. Now, when you bring on Oli Watkins, and of course, Kopama also got into the game as well, what he's able to do is to run in behind, something Harry Kane has not done all tournaments.
So work the centre backs.
It's actually not his game recently. Harry Kane drops deep, gets involved really well. But when you need a striker to run in behind teams, to stretch that back line, because when the striker is running in behind teams, it's not only the space that he offers the midfielders to play him through, but it's also the fact that he's able to take that back line back.
And he stretches
So the
pitch.
space,
That's basically working the defense.
yes. So the space between the lines becomes bigger.
Yeah.
So the midfielders are able to breathe and think. But when you watch Harry Kane, I love him. But when you watch, it's almost like he's helping to crowd the midfield zone, because instead of taking defenders away, he's drawing them into the space where Foden.
In fact, that was a big criticism in the first game, right? He was occupying the same space as the midfield.
And throughout. And so he's congesting the space even more. But Watkins does different. And so as soon as yes, please.
That is not a bad thing. If the play, or if he has runners playing
Of him. Brilliant.
Yes.
So it's
Brilliant. Yeah. And that is what, and Harry Kane has done this for England in almost all the tournaments he's played. But in past years, he would have Marcus Rashford running off him.
Or Sterling.
Or Raheem Sterling running off him.
Yeah.
So Harry Kane can be the one to draw defenders into the midfield and they hit the ball in behind him. But he's got wingers now who are not doing so. Or the shape. Ball to feet. Foden will come short. Bellingham will come short. Trippier is not a natural left footer. So he's only fancy going. Saka has been marked out because he's very wide. So it's a different thing. But when Watkins came on, he's doing everything that Harry Kane wasn't doing. So they're thinking to not bring on Ivan Toney, who impacted the other game that they played in the knockout stage.
Yeah.
But now to realize that you don't need a second Harry Kane, but you need a different striker. And bringing on Ivan Toney was brilliant. Then there was Cole Palmer to come and inject something else, maybe take on another player with fresh legs. He found that pass, which was a good spot. He saw the space, he played the ball through, but everything else for me was Oli Watkins. Look,
that finish was impossible,
the
man.
touch really. It's the first touch to cushion. I thought the pass was just a little shot, right? It was just a little shot.
Nah.
So he had to then turn his
Even
back.
after the first pass, the angle from which he took the shot.
You know who he reminded me of? Drogba.
Didier can score
Yeah,
that kind of goal.
Didier can score from those,
That touch, the spin on the body, and then...
Yeah, true, very true.
So, I mean, he scored a brilliant goal, so massive. England have shown a lot of character. Southgate has shown that he knows what to do with certain players in the squad, right? And get something out of the team. Back-to-back European finals.
That's unbelievable.
It's a huge achievement for three.
And I think the best thing for England for me is that they are playing their best games in the later stages of the tournament.
Yeah,
their last two games have been better than the first two or the first three. So they're improving at the right time.
Then Danny said it in one of the episodes. I don't know if it's here or something. He actually said that he didn't know why Southgate wasn't playing with a 3-back, because he had used that in tournaments and it had helped. And as soon as he changed into that system, I think Phil Foden is being better.
Yeah.
I think
way better.
Saka has been better. Declan Rice and Mainu's combination. I think that is.
There's something I like about Southgate. I think he actually does listen, because the biggest criticism about his teams were two. One, why was that he needed to drop Trent Alexander-Arnold from midfield. And he did exactly that after 2 games, and he's not looked back. They all wanted him to be replaced by Menu or the Adam Wharton. And he did exactly that.
He didn't do that.
He said?
He didn't do that.
He didn't do what?
He replaced him with Gallagher.
He brought Gallagher.
Yeah, at first. The first game, yes. Yeah. But I'm saying eventually he listened.
No, eventually.
And did the right thing.
You see, let me tell you what got him to listen.
Mm-hmm.
What really got him to listen was when Bellingham saved him.
Against Slovakia.
Yes. In that round of 16, when Bellingham saved. Look, if that sequence had not ended up in the back of the net, we would have exited the tournament.
Yes.
So every good coach, every smart coach will go back,
revise,
post-match, look at the situation again,
and try to recreate
and tell themselves that, look, never again do I want to play.
And they've played better since he made the changes.
But they showed character because they've gone behind since then as well.
And that's why I think sometimes when people criticize journalists, pundits, and say they don't know what they are talking about, this is a typical example of journalists and pundits knowing exactly what they are talking about.
I think after match day 1 or match day 2,
they told him he wasn't going to work.
Start with the competition.
Yes.
That's when we did the England episode.
Yes.
Ideally, how I'd want them to start.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
I thought the 3. You see, it's worked.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's not. I'm not an England fan. I've never been an England fan. But the job is to analyze.
Of course.
And when you look at what they've done 2018 World Cup to the last Euros, the system which has worked is the 3-back. It's like the system that brings the best out of all the players that they have, regardless of who is on the pitch. It just brings out the best out of them. So for me, when he suddenly changed into the back 4, trying to be a bit expansive, I understood the thinking, because when you look at this squad that is blessed with a lot of attacking talent, you want to try and fit them all in. But this is a tournament setting. You don't go into a tournament to try and error. But I think what saved England was the draw.
Being on the side of draw they found themselves.
The group and the side of the draw that they found themselves in the round of in the knockout stages.
Yes.
It allowed them to make mistakes without being punished.
True story.
So if they had tried it in a group, let's say in Germany's group, where there was Switzerland, there was Hungary, these teams will make you suffer. But there's a reason why the boys from England's group all dropped out in the round of 16. Slovakia, Slovenia,
Yeah.
You see, and again, you also need to give credit to the head coach. I said, look,
but you need a bit of luck in every tournament, maybe.
No, it's true.
No, of course. And that's why he's saying that that counted.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Look,
you can't discount it.
It's 2 things. Yes, England did the wrong things in the group stages round of 16, but the teams didn't beat them. So it's not, and it's about learning. And coach has said, look, you go back, you look at what you did wrong. And the obvious was there. And that's the thing. I don't necessarily like that commentary of Southgate doesn't know anything. He knows what will work.
But that's why he has those personnel.
Thank you. He knows what will work. I just think it's what I explained earlier. When you look at the squad, you are trying to think of what will be better than what you've done. But when you realize that what you are trying to counter what you've done is not working, then you just
go back to the reliable.
Simple. And that's what he did. In that game against Switzerland, from the blast of the whistle, the players, is like the body language, they just look confident and composed in what they were doing. The movement was seamless. Everything was just working together. And when they went behind, we were doing commentary. I celebrated the Switzerland goal. But then I mentioned that, look, it wasn't fair. It really wasn't fair that England were down.
They're behind.
But when you looked at on the scale of, or on the whole of the competition, yes, they deserve to go out. But in that game against Switzerland, I thought they had done enough. Then Saka scored that goal. And that is why you name a squad full of some of these talents. Because your star players will bail you out in situations.
Out of nothing, Saka's going really.
Look, the best teams in the world. Look at Messi at the World Cup with Argentina. After that first game, the game was close. I think it was Mexico they faced in the second game. It was a tight game. Messi picks the ball up, whiz through 1-2, boom. That is not a coach. That is a player just taking the situation into his own hands and then winning the points for his team. And sometimes you need your best players to do that for you. And once that goal went in, I thought England were the better. So I thought England should have won it even in extra time, but that didn't work for them. In this game against the Netherlands,
and even the subs he brought on, they took the penalties.
And he won. In the Netherlands game also, even when Netherlands scored, I thought it went against the run of play.
Yeah, it was.
England were dominating.
Especially the first half.
There was a chance before Javi Simons scored, where Malla was making the same pass that Palmer gave Watkins.
Yes.
Javi Simons failed to see Malen's run and then hang on to the ball. I saw the transition as something that the Dutch would use to worry the English. But I felt that it wasn't something that the English couldn't solve with a simple tactical switch. So I wasn't too convinced with the Dutch. Then England scored. When England scored and they asserted their dominance on the game, it was just a matter of time. Let's address that penalty incident. I don't like some things. Like, I mean, I say, the rules are there. That was a stamp. His leg is high. Yes. The stats are showing. It doesn't matter whether he grazed. It doesn't matter where there was contact. There was clearly contact on Harry Kane's leg.
Was it the penalty? I understand what some people are saying. When I see it, you know, Dumfries' leg is high, right? It's up.
Yeah.
And he's not stamping the ball, right? His leg is not moving towards Kane like this. His leg is up and trying to block the ball. And it was Kane's momentum after hitting the ball that comes this way. So if you watch it well, right, Dumfries is attempting to block the ball like that. His leg stays here. It's not like going this way. That's different.
It moves towards Kane.
No, it stays this way.
No, let's say,
it's like stays there.
I just want to simplify this.
Right.
When you go back to the rules and you look at similar situations that have happened in football, once stats are showing, the player who is punished for showing his stats isn't always making a move. He's only punished when there's contact.
Right.
There are players who will make a move with their stats. It will miss the attacking player and they are not punished. But once your stats are showing and he makes the contact, we have so many examples.
In fact, there was an FA Cup game where Luis Nani jammed over Vincent Kompany's double
foot.
He jammed over it. There was no contact, but he was red carded because of the intent. So he starts showing the stats high. Yeah.
And you see, the only thing that would have saved Dumfries is if he had contact with the ball.
Yes.
If maybe Harry Kane kicked it and he blocked it and he went out for a corner or it had hit him, that one, maybe it will help.
Actually, just to help make your point better, I think it's a case of competition for the ball. You know that Dumfries also went for the ball.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. Whoever gets it first, the second person is always going to get...
Simple. It's
You're always going to get punished for a foul.
I think
so
I agree with that.
Yeah, even if it wasn't stats and it was just a normal kick and one got to it first and the other kicked the other person's leg late after the first person kicked the ball, it's a foul.
But you see, there is also a case for the uniformity of these so-called protocols or instructions they give referees pre-tournaments or pre-leagues. The referee, look, forget about the match fixing scandal and all of the issues. It comes from Germany.
Alex Zoya.
In Germany, the protocol is consistent with the decision that the referee gave.
Okay. What's the protocol there?
Which is that it will be interpreted as a dangerous tackle.
Okay.
In the Premier League, we've seen referees often overlook that.
No, they overlook.
I don't even think it's a dangerous tackle per se. It's just a foul.
No, let's get to it.
I'm just saying that.
The Premier League referees overlook it. It doesn't mean that it's not part of the protocols. It's part of the Premier League rules that a high foot with starts. It's a foul
off
the ground.
But
there were starts.
I'm just saying that
it's
the convention. No, I agree with the referee. The convention has been that they overlook it, even if it is contrary to the regulations, as you're saying. When you expect players who are used to that level, and you see these players are smart. Sometimes beyond the regulation, they're able to read between the lines and tell which instances they will be culpable.
But the referee didn't give it. The referee didn't give it.
The referee didn't give it.
The referee didn't.
VAR asked him to have a second look.
After he went, he actually went to the screen.
And everybody look at the English players. I don't think there was a massive call for a pen.
No, they did. They did. I think 40. Even 40 was standing there.
And Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
And after it was given, the Dutch didn't complain much.
Yes. I'm just saying that.
No, especially Dumfries. He was just
the rules of the captain should. Oh yes, delve into this competition. So everyone see it.
No, even like body language. Dumfries was just like, man, yeah.
Even I'm just saying that, look, we need to get to a point where IFAB and all of these competitions need to be clear on what the regulations, this idea of changing protocols or instructions before every tournament or before these competitions.
Actually,
no, but even if they were changed, there's nothing wrong with it.
On that point you are making, just move into even the Spain-Germany handball incident for me.
But that's the point. That is even the broader issue that clearly there was a new set of instructions given to the referees that this is what
that was a small officiating too.
This one wasn't
it's just the Germany one.
The handball thing is
a different matter.
No, it's just the broader point I'm making that for different competitions, the interpretation of the regulations are different.
Yes.
Some of the incidents that will be given in Italy will not be given.
Interpretations are different. That's
a good example would be just use the handball incident to illustrate it because the handball incident was a very confusing moment for me.
I'm just saying that the incidents vary, right? The incidents vary. But there needs to be a certain convergence of what the rules mean for each incident. So that
why was the Cucurella handball not giving a penalty?
Because they said that these days, when the arm is pointing downwards and it is not moving, it is not moving towards the ball, the player's intention is not to interfere with play. Also, they will not interpret that as the player making his body unusually large, which is very strange.
Because where his hand was when the ball hit,
he made his body unusually large.
Yes. No. Without his hand, that ball was on target.
Yes.
It probably was going to score.
And it didn't look like the goalkeeper would have gotten close to it.
It wasn't beside his body too.
No.
Yes.
You should look at the distance between the two of them.
Okay.
When the ball was struck. That is an area to look into.
Okay.
Could he, per the sequence, immediately done this? He couldn't have done that.
Or
he
move
didn't
this.
do this.
Mhm.
It was behind him like that. So if it's behind him like that and the ball struck his hand from behind him, it's not a penalty. So that's why if you
A few years ago or last year, wouldn't that have been giving a penalty?
We are improving upon the system. VAR didn't even call
Improving
the
or
referee to come
changing?
in.
No, you see,
VAR
the
didn't
reason
even call
why
the referee to come
the
in.
reason you see the reason why I didn't want us to get into this thing is it's a look, we'll go and we'll finish.
Won't finish.
Oh,
Because
agree.
this matter is also a serious disadvantage to the attacking team. I
Yes.
don't care if you
Yes.
intentionally or unintentionally did it. You stop my ball from entering the goalpost
With your hand.
with your hand.
Yes.
So that is an obstruction.
No,
There's
but
nothing
the
like
rule-
unintentional
The
obstruction.
rules
or unintentional
are clear
obstruction.
on that.
Yes,
The rules are clear
the
on
rules
that.
are clear. 2 months or say 3 weeks before the start of the
And you see what
competition. That is new.
Yes.
So
The
it will
rule
take
is the rule.
It will
Yes.
take time for fans and pundits and alike to get used to something.
Speaking
like
about
this.
it being
But
a disadvantage to the attacking team, just to help your point, if this happened in the attacking third and the ball with close proximity somehow comes off a striker's
striker's
hand
hand.
unintentionally and they score,
have followed-
no, they will disallow the
No,
goal
that's what I'm
and say
saying.
that
That's
it
how
touched his
I
hand.
disallow it.
Meanwhile, a lot of those incidents, the attackers actually know nothing about the ball touching their hands.
That's why I don't agree with that rule because
Do
you
you
punish,
get the point
punish
I'm
me
making?
when
Like,
I'm
a striker
attacking
can just be
and
there
the defender
unintentionally,
obstructs. And
then
you
the
also
ball come
punish
off their
me
hand.
if my teammate touches. So it is two
Yes.
disadvantages to the attacking team.
Actually-
But you let's circle
Yes,
back. Let's
actually go to, I think in the group stages, was it Spain? Some handball, some goal was disallowed.
Slovakia, Slovenia, they scored a goal.
No, I think even with Spain,
It was Serbia or something. No, it was Serbia or something where the ball hit the striker's hand.
it's so unintentional. Like he didn't. They called it back and said it touched your hand.
Okay,
so
so-
that one,
Yeah,
no
Yeah,
goal.
I remember this. The Spain. No, in fact, Lukaku's goal.
It was
The
Lukaku. Thank you.
ball touched the hand of
One of the attacking.
Openda.
Openda.
He crossed the
Yes,
ball.
that
Lukaku scored. They
incident.
said the ball touched
The
him.
Belgians were livid.
Yeah.
look, and that was also a switch in the rules because previously, if the ball touched the hand of the player that didn't score the goal, it would have been allowed.
Yeah.
So this was a new
see?
rule change. But okay,
All right.
we'll take
Fair
it like
enough.
that. But to circle back on that game, and I want to hammer on the importance of the substitutions. And
Okay.
you see, yes, it's out there that
England, Netherlands.
England and Netherlands.
Okay.
It's out there. I know that there's a very strong narrative around Southgate's suspicious coaching abilities. But you can't look at a World Cup semi-final, a Euro final, a World Cup quarter-final against eventual finalists, and another Euro final in the space of how many years? Is it 6-7 years?
Yeah.
And tell me that this guy isn't good. When you go back to previous English teams, and that's why I was very pissed when Lineker and co were talking. The 2004 Euros that England went out to Portugal, they had no business losing to that Portuguese team.
Mhm.
The 2006 World Cup that England went to lose to Portugal again, they had no business losing to that
Even
Portuguese
against
team.
France.
So
the
it
two
is
last
not
minute goals they
always
conceded.
look. It is not always that when you have a good path to the final that you win. So, in as much as yes, England faced a Ukraine and somebody in the last Euros before eventually meeting, you still have to beat who's in front of you,
Of course.
which is fact. In as much as they faced is it Switzerland and whoever
Slovakia.
and they've reached this stage, you still have to beat what's in front of you because
Yes.
we've seen English teams in the past fail to do that, and I think they were
Iceland beat them in the Euros in
2016.
2016.
So it's not always that
they
you
didn't
have
qualify.
They didn't qualify to
2012.
2008.
2008. They lost to
28.
Croatia.
Yeah, they lost
In
to
the
Croatia.
qualifiers.
Now building the emergence
now
of the
and they lost
golden
it
generation.
in the last game at Wembley.
At Wembley.
So
yes.
it's not always that. So especially when the English fans are really critical of Southgate, I'm a bit yes. When you look at what he has and what the potential that of the world judging with the potential, but when you judge him against the previous results and you judge him based on what he's actually doing,
Danny, let me just chip in this. The period you've mentioned between 2004 to 2008, the quality of players England had,
Oh my God.
I can bet that I would say that we're better than this group of players.
yeah.
No.
John
It's not
Terry,
even-
Sol Campbell,
It's not debatable.
Lampard,
It's
Steven
Coach
Gerrard,
who wanted to do
Steven
agenda
Gerrard.
last
I
week.
have
When Rooney, Michael Owen, bro.
We did the
that's
comparison
from
here last time,
2000.
I
and
have
you were.
a
That's what
dissenting
ended up with Jude Bellingham is better than
I have
Lampard.
a dissenting
It's
view.
a group of complete legends
They were winners
who were
throughout.
literally like the best players in the world.
I'm
at the
telling
time.
you.
They were
Like, you
winners
can't-
at club level. They were failures at the national team.
Yes, but that's not the
But what
point.
I said-
That's
what I
the point
said
he's
was-
making.
They have not played even
But that's
one
the point he's
semi-final.
making.
So what I'm saying, what I'm saying,
The point
what I'm
he's
saying
making.
is
The point I'm
the
making
group of players.
the group of players at the
individually.
national level were bad. They
I'll
are
tell
not
you
even
what. I'll
playing
tell
in
you
the
what.
semi-final when
That
tournament
that
is
No,
England.
what are you talking
about?
about? We're talking about two things.
That England
The coach
2014
yeah.
and this team 2024. 20 years apart. I would say there are only 2 players in this current squad that can walk directly into that 2004 squad. And those players would be Kyle Walker over Gary Neville, and then Harry Kane over Owen. And I love Owen.
Who? In 2002?
No, Michael Owen.
In 2002?
No, we said 4.
No. 2004.
We said Euro 4. Euro 6.
No, Michael Owen.
Bro.
In 2004.
No. I said that's me.
Which is fine.
Which is fun. But every other player will not get in there.
Nobody.
Look.
You put John Stones over John Terry.
I will pick Foden over who? Okay.
Over Wayne Rooney.
Over Rooney. Because that's the comparison.
No, listen.
It's Foden over Rooney. It's Foden or Rooney.
Listen.
We are listening.
listening.
Those guys.
You are thinking. You are listening.
I want to make my point. And you are crisscrossing me.
No, when you say listen, we're listening.
Listen.
Let's just name them.
I'm not going to go into that.
No, we will.
We all
that's
see
the
players differently.
Yes.
I am telling you
That you pick.
that Pickford was far better than James.
No, that's okay. That's true.
James, James.
That one there is true.
And you need that
James, there was nobody should
to go forward in a major tournament.
Pickford and so on.
This team-
Yes, how?
Pickford.
This team had better balance than those people.
No, it was
They
coaching.
didn't Mazza.
It was coaching.
Ferdinand, John Terry.
It was
John
coaching.
Stones and Gay. Who are
It
you
was
picking?
coaching. It was coaching. You know, this
Actually,
thing
four over
What we
three
saw in
play.
this,
You say I should make my point. You make me talk.
What we
When
said.
I talk,
No, but I see,
quiet.
the funny thing is that this is actually my submission that
Okay, go
circled
ahead.
around into this thing. But I'll allow you to come in. That's why I said that let me name
Okay.
so that we can do the thing.
No.
I'm
Name
sacrificing my
me.
time. I'm sacrificing
Why
my
you
time.
name me?
No, what I'm saying is that when coach talks about balance, I wouldn't agree, and I agree with Sicho when he says coaching, because what we saw in the first 2 games, there was
no
this
balance.
competition.
No balance.
Somebody will say that this team didn't have balance. But they had balance.
It was coaching.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nobody
was coaching.
asked him
You
to
see
play
what?
Blaze at left
Let me
wing,
tell you.
Beckham on right wing,
Let me tell
Gerrard
you
and
something.
Lampard without any defensive cover.
Let me tell you.
Nobody
something.
asked him to do
You,
that.
if you are the one coaching that team, Scholes, Beckham, Lampard, you will find a way to play on the team.
Gerrard.
Who would you have
Gerrard.
bench?
Ask
Gerrard. Who would you have bench?
But wait.
So I'm saying that.
No, but wait. We've seen. Do you know that Gary Southgate's team, right? After the second game, he hasn't dropped any player. He hasn't added any player. It's the same 11,
I'm saying that.
and he's changed the shape. So yeah, he just changed the shape to a back
I'm
three.
saying that.
Kawaka now is a centre back, third centre back. Saka is playing
I'm
almost
saying
like a wing back.
Like a
Trippier,
wing back, yeah.
Foden and this have come more central. And Bellingham, Harry Kane, and then
Okay.
Watson. Maybe
My way, you see,
It's-
my
it's
way,
deployment differently.
My way of seeing the game is different. That is why I will always support teams like Spain, teams that are blessed with players who've got flexible waist. Lampard, Sisi Ayadin, Gerrard, Sisi Ayadin. What I say? Those guys had
Coach,
Massa,
really.
I mean, Kasa, let me tough. Those people, those guys, they had stiff, rigid waist. They couldn't check. But they didn't check for one way. We saw them. We watched them.
You're saying they were the wait.
So the issue was the
wait.
pass.
You're saying Gerrard and Lampard were the original squad McTominays?
Oh, man.
So wait, coach, you are saying that you would
What
pick
I'm saying
you would
is-
pick Declan Rice
listen,
and Mainu
maybe
over
you see,
over.
The hype of those players,
It's not the hype.
whatever they did at club level, let me, if you want me to say it the way you want me to say it, you saw them there. And I'm saying that if you pick this team against that team, this current England team of Saka, Foden, Kane, Declan Rice, Menu, they will beat these people hands down. Because they have
But is Joko not better than Saka?
Joko's influence at
No,
the
but
national
coach, I
team.
think you are mixing the point. You are mixing the issue. No, you are.
It was
You are.
coaching.
No, there are two things. Yes, no,
Coaching
coach.
is coaching.
Let me.
I am saying that
Coach, let me help you.
if I have Pickford, Walker, Shaw, and
what Chris is
Declan
doing?
Rice,
You had Ashley Cole. You are talking about
You know what
Shaw.
Chris is doing?
All right,
I'm
okay,
picking
coach,
my team.
Coach, let me ask you a question.
I'm not comparing Shaw
No,
to
that's fair,
Ashley Cole.
coach.
Don't get
Let
me
me
wrong.
ask you
I'm
this
saying
question.
that if I have this group of players and you bring, that is why those guys, they were born failures at the national
Yeah,
team.
but coach,
They
that
achieved
is what isn't that
nothing
what Sicho is saying?
because
Right,
talk
coach?
about coaching. What is
What
coaching?
I said was that
What are you talking
in
about?
terms of quality, right? In terms of
quality.
quality, that group had better quality than this.
I'm saying I
So
disagree.
I agree with Danny because what Southgate has
Alright,
been able
coach,
to do
what
with
if I-
this group
I
in the last
disagree.
6 years
All right.
is something that deserves credit
Yes.
than the play
Sicho,
team
hold
is
on.
not a good coach.
Let me ask coach this question.
Conversation.
Let me ask coach this question. If you gave that 2004 squad the same players to Gary Southgate. And Gary Southgate handled them for how many years has he been in charge? 8 years. If Gary Southgate, with the same attitude with which he's managed the current crop, if he was in charge of that England team for as long as he's been in charge of this team, do you think he could have succeeded?
I don't think so.
And your reason would be because
there's no guarantee to that.
Yes, but are you saying it's because those players were simply not good enough?
I'm not saying they were not good enough.
So why wouldn't he have
as compared to the current team?
No, so why wouldn't he have succeeded? What would have been the hindrance? I'm trying to.
You are trying to get me to say something.
No, I'm actually trying to understand
why that team failed.
No,
yes.
What I'm saying that team failed because they didn't have the right balance and technical ability.
Who finds balance? Finds balance?
Whose job was that?
Who finds balance?
They did. Hargreaves was consistently on the bench. Whilst he should have been starting that team.
And I'm saying that
even after 2006, when Carrick emerged, they didn't know how to use Carrick. You're using everybody's talking about Rodri and things. But Carrick was doing nothing.
You are mentioning somebody who was just a peripheral player on the team. And you want him to include him. You are including among that group of players.
But it's important for the point we are making that
when Calvin Phillips was successful for Southgate, who was Calvin Phillips? He was just elite United player who had come to the Premier League. Played only 6 months. He got drafted into even Jordan Henderson. You see, Henderson 10 years saying. But look at the coaching from Southgate. Henderson 10 years saying. When Henderson was playing against
West, Lampard, look, that
Henderson was successful.
Henderson was an important part of the first 5 years of
Maguire.
Henderson was an important part of the first 5 years of Southgate.
Maguire was. I'm not talking about Henderson. I'm talking about the
character. You are mentioning character defects. You are mentioning defects.
That team had no player like Kobe Menu. What Kobe Menu picks up the ball?
What about Carrick?
What about Hargreaves? What about Hargreaves?
Chris is joking.
Coach, right now you are capping.
He's joking.
Oh,
they were bombed.
You are mixing the issues. Why were they bombed at the national level? And that's why I ask you, if it was, if they had
why are these people better? Why are these people better?
I want to
ask coaching.
How do you know?
Are you telling how do you know
that Kobe Menu was good at national level? It's not Southgate who put him inside.
And I'm saying, was Coach not put inside? Was Gerrard not put inside? Was Lampard not put inside? Why they not inside?
But in the same breath, you are saying that how was the manager going to draft Carrick into that?
Actually, it's okay. Let's talk about Spain. This matter will go in circles, Coach. Yeah, Coach. Let's talk about. Coach, let's talk about your favorite Spain.
No, I want to touch on Spain because I think that Fabian Ruiz and Rodri.
You are still on the floor.
No, I think Fabian Ruiz and Rodri are a better partnership than we saw in 2012 Euros. That the Spain team in that.
You are saying you are also raising another argument.
Fabian Ruiz and Rodri
better than Xavi and Iniesta.
Xavi Iniesta was playing on the left. Xavi Busquets and
Xavi Busquets and Alonso. Xavi Alonso, Xavi and
Luis Pedro. Luis, your friend is saying Rodri and Pedri better than them.
Okay, that's all. You are finished. Coach, Spain are getting better. One thing I have loved about Spain is the fact that individual players, they're relying on individual quality from different players at different stages of the tournament. Right. In the group stages, we saw Nico Williams was unplayable. We've come to the knockout stages, Dani Olmo has emerged. Right. And then that is when Lamine Yamal starts to show his real quality. That's right. For me, that's the most impressive thing about this team, this Spain team.
That is why
they
beat England on Sunday. Yeah, it's emphatic.
But how many?
No, but I have said they'll win the tournament.
You have. I like your consistency.
They'll win it.
Yes.
Look, if you look at Spain, you enjoy them play.
That is true. That is
every player is way better than that smelly tiki-taka ball.
Every player is so good on the ball. Even the player we all didn't rate, Kuku. Kukuarera.
Yeah.
Another example of good coaching.
No.
Only a few months ago, you didn't rate him because he was playing under certain instructions that didn't work for him until the last 6 games of the Premier League.
Control and pass. That is not coaching. If you can't control and pass the ball, it's your fault.
It's coaching. It's confidence matter.
The confidence.
Look,
Sicho, if you interrupt again,
No, but
I will take you back to Russia.
No.
Why
What I'm
was
saying is-
Kukurea worth 50 million a couple of summers ago?
Yes,
Wanted him.
I'm not interrupting for second
Fact.
reason. So I'm
All
saying
of a
that
sudden he's when
Fact.
the first thing is that, listen, friends, before coach goes on, coming into the Euros, there was no sense that Korea of Chelsea starts ahead of Grimaldo of Leverkusen.
No, there wasn't.
But
It
the
wasn't
coach,
even, yeah.
the coach picked him ahead of Grimaldo, and he showed why he picked him.
Yes.
It's coaching.
Grimaldo that you are talking about is an equally good.
Yes.
Kukurea too, if you followed him from Brighton, he was a fantastic player.
Yes.
But we are
He
saying
walked
that
into this Chelsea team. The house in itself was a dismantled house.
no, to be fair, in the last 6
Nobody-
games or 7 games of the season, Cucurella showed
Begin to show
exactly.
his true quality.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. And the different
And I'm
instructions.
saying
But
that-
even with
and
that,
coach, and let me tell you something. There are some fundamental attributes of a player
Mhm.
that you don't blame a coach for when
Mhm.
the player fails to show those simple, basic
That is true.
attributes. And I'm saying when the player cannot control and pass, it's not coaching.
Isn't it a confidence issue, maybe?
Who should build your confidence on receiving and passing the ball?
You're a professional footballer. That's
What am I
your
talking
basic
about?
job.
That is too basic to blame the coach for. So let's control and pass.
It's okay, continue.
I'll close my eyes and control and pass with cheeky ease, quick
Cheeky.
ease. So that is not. It's out down to the player.
Okay.
Now when you look at this Spanish team,
Yes.
like you rightly said, me, I've always loved to watch a footballing team where I realize that every player, even under pressure, even where there's no way out, there's the composure to keep.
Oh, my word.
Look at the game against France. There were several moments in that game where there were no way through. But the player in possession of the ball never panicked with the pass. He waited. He held on. He waited. Then the options presented itself. Then back. Then you could see the transition. You could see the movement. When they are moving, they move in a coordinated manner.
Mhm.
Coordinated manner.
That's right.
This French team, they thought they were smart. Basically, Didier Deschamps, if you watch the game, one thing that he wanted to impose was that physicality. He knew that if he get the AC Milan boy to kick that 16-year-old boy, get him to feel the sensation
Hernandez.
in his bones, he slows the young man. But look at what the coach did. How many times did Yamil Lamar pick up the ball and
From where he
face the left full back of Spain?
Very few.
Very few.
Every time he had the ball, he was
He
rather
drifted
dealing
in.
with
He
midfielders
was
and
dealing
centre
with the
backs.
midfielders.
Yes.
You are waiting for me. Sit there and wait for me.
And that's why when he took the shot, it was who?
Rabiot
Rabiot.
in front of him. Where was his marker?
And to make it interesting, ahead of the game, Rabiu said that
That's-
Lamine Yamal is good, but
Of course.
he has to do way, way better
There
when he
you
steps
go.
against them then.
But that
So
was
good.
But that was smart coaching also because you realized that whatever Lamine Yamal had, Hernandez could match
Could
him.
have dealt with it.
Mhm.
He had
In
the
fact-
pace, he had the physicality to match him.
I had
Yeah.
analyzed the game.
That's true.
I had analyzed the game somewhere. I had a call on the radio and I told them that, look, if I was the one coaching this Spain team, I'll move the ball away from him. Because that
Theo
French
Hernandez. Yeah.
Yeah.
is a very,
It's a
very
bulldozer. Yeah, brilliant.
He's a good tackler. He's a good baller. He can even look physically. He's stronger than the young man. So avoid him. If he cares, let him chase him there.
Mm.
And the presence of Jesus Navas meant that he couldn't follow the boy into midfield. That was coaching. You spoke about Nico Williams.
On a lighter
being-
note, so many people doesn't know the difference between the Hernandez's.
Yes,
Lucas.
Lucas and Theo.
Especially
Some
when
people
they
think
play
it's the same
together.
player who has been playing since the World Cup in 2018.
Especially when they play together.
yes.
Even right now, as the brother has come to replace the brother, people don't know that.
But the brother would have been there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
injured.
but people
Yeah, he
don't know
got
that
injured.
the brother is not the
He
you know
got
the brother is the
injured
one.
against Dortmund when Fulkrug was scoring that brilliant goal. And
Yes,
So
You know,
you see,
the brother is the World Cup winner.
Yeah.
the idea to also keep Nico Williams wide was coaching.
Okay, how did it impact the game?
It was very simple. If you look,
This one will be coaching, but the other one will be
no, when I say it was
Tariki,
coaching,
would you shut up over
No,
there?
because I don't agree.
No.
Why should I shut up if I
it's
don't
about the
agree?
shape of the team. That's got nothing to do with the technical
Coach,
ability.
so
of the
don't
player.
let him.
No, let me answer you. Look, coaching is the shape, not about your ability
The
to
shape
play.
will bring balance.
Look,
And bring the best out of individuals.
Out of the players.
Can the two of you keep quiet and let coach answer the question?
That's the truth.
Nico Williams, stay wild.
Yes.
Was part of the game plan.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yes.
So that was because the two of them couldn't have come in.
Uh-huh.
Would have made Spain very narrow. Somebody needed to give them a bit of weight.
Mm-hmm.
When France took the lead, in fact, I was on my way to watch the game, and I was listening to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that Kolomoani had scored, I just told myself that these people, they've gone to pair in Tokwabi.
They're going to cause some fights that they can't.
How can you score against Spain first?
That's right.
Who taught you that? Where did you learn that from?
They've got that's like poking the bear.
Yes,
that's the literal definition of poking the bear.
No, who taught you that?
What's the other idiom? Let sleeping dogs lie.
That's it.
You didn't let the sleeping dogs lie.
You went to wake up.
Don't do that.
You wake up the sleeping dog.
So when you see, just after I got to where I was watching, when I got, I said, look, where is Rodri? Where is Reeves? Where is Omo? Where are my people? Then Rodri come up. Good boys. Good boys. Your master have come. I've just started watching the game.
That's right.
Now show yourself.
Just when you arrived.
Look, I was just trying to compliment then Lamin Yamal.
That's right.
Where did that come from?
They said when they advertise, they need to employ someone who is 16 years with 25-year experience. That's Lamin Yamal.
Where did that
16 years with 25 years experience.
I chanced on a UEFA game they played against France. U17 last year.
Yes.
Same goal, carbon copy.
Yes.
I've seen that goal too.
Carbon copy, brilliant.
It has to be a player who believes in his technical ability.
Yeah.
And he did that superb.
But the technique is supreme.
Look, Charlie.
The way he dragged the ball.
Didn't he almost score another one in the second half?
Daniel Olmo. He nearly scored the second one.
And he's shooting.
He's not just crossing.
It's like
he's crossing.
No, there was a first chance he gave to
players.
Fabian Ruiz.
He's not just putting it.
Fabian Ruiz made a late one into the box. He picked him out, and Ruiz just mistimed his jump.
Yeah.
And it started the game. That would have been 1-0.
That would have 1-0.
Yeah.
All that I'm saying is that the beauty of this Spanish team was actually in that second half. They knew they had a lead to protect. So we know footballing wise, the French team is also a very good team.
Yeah.
But because we had a lead to protect, let's kill the intensity of it. So you look at Rodri. There were times where the pass was there. Then they'll pass the ball.
Yeah,
and that's why
it gave me reminders of the 2012 team.
Yeah, and that's why in the second half. And that's why in the
They're
second
just
half.
passing the people to boredom.
Yeah, that's why in the second half, Lamin Yamal didn't have a great game. Nico Williams didn't necessarily. We didn't see enough of him.
Not great. They didn't have a great game
in terms of their way play. Used to.
Yes.
Yeah, but
because
the games were not going to them. Yeah.
21-year-old know that even when there's space in front, turn and pass it.
Yeah.
They pass back.
And it was
They just suffocated France.
They didn't want the game to be played at a certain
Pace, yes.
They needed it to calm down. And you could clearly see Rodri calm down. And when the ball got to that left-footed midfield, Fabio Ruiz,
Guy.
and he was so excellent in the execution of his job. He didn't panic. There were moments, there were two.
He's in contention to be player of the tournament,
yes,
I think.
He didn't panic at all. So therefore, it was obvious they would win, and they won. For me, I'm not going to worry myself about the Dutch-England game.
No, don't go there. We've spent too much time there.
The best team won. For the very first time, Southgate's team will be playing against a team that will take the ball off them, pass them into submission, and humble them good. All the teams England have played in this season, England have enjoyed good part of the possession.
True.
But for the very first time,
somebody else will deny them of the ball.
They know. Technically, that is the better team. From Laporta to Cavaya will be back. The guys in the midfield, the Nico and Nico. You see, England will have to, for the very first time, play seriously on the defense. That is
defend better than they've had to all campaign.
They'll be carved open. No two ways about that. My last point: if Spain doesn't win the cup on Sunday, it wouldn't be because England, one, would be better than them, two, would dominate them. It would be because of the point I've always made. Their inability
to convert all the chances.
To convert their chances. Because this England defense, the French defense is far better than this England defense.
That's right.
It's John Stones and Goyi and Trippier and Co.
Yes.
You will see what Omo, Lami Yamal, Nico Williams, Rodri and Co. will do. So minimum 3-0.
You are predicting?
I'm telling you, minimum 3.
Spain to win 3-0.
I'm telling you.
Minimum.
Don't dare them. The last time they were in a major final like this, their team took how many?
That's right. Italy.
They took 4. Ayoko.
But to be fair, Italy had a man sent off.
If they had even added 1 man to them, they would have taken 4. What are you talking about? If they had played 12 against 11,
I need to go to Achu.
No, a quick one.
Yes.
What coach has said is very interesting because this English team under Southgate, their best football has come when they don't have the ball. This team is built to play on a counter. And I am hoping that Southgate will be smart enough to change some of the personnel in that final.
I think you just spoke.
It will take balls, but he has to do it.
What
changes? Get Tony Gordon for this game inside,
bro.
What changes does he have?
2.
If you get Tony Gordon for this team inside,
2 changes.
Okay. 1.
You will not get the ball.
That's right.
So you don't need players who play, who drop into space. You need runners.
Okay.
Watkins must start.
Tony then Watkins.
Gordon must start.
That's
Those
right.
2.
Tony Watkins.
I will sacrifice Harry Kane. Look, it is balls. I will sacrifice
you
Harry
drop
Kane.
Harry Kane in the final and you don't win. They will murder him, I swear.
I'm telling you. I will sacrifice Harry Kane.
Do they expect?
No, the changes are to try and win.
Look,
I'm going to sacrifice Harry Kane.
Lampard and Gerrard and Co. will beat them.
Look, friends, it's 2
What are you
things.
talking about?
Kane must go.
Drop Kane
I will drop
in
Kane.
the major final
And Gallagher must start.
ahead of.
This is the game that
First 15 minutes,
ahead
you
of
take red
Gallagher.
card.
Wait, that's
Must
3
start.
changes then.
look. If Menu plays a final, he'll be useless. Let's bet. If Menu plays this final in this Spain midfield, Obey Janison and 10.
You know the see
And they
anything.
should go and bring Gallagher and put him in there.
Gallagher,
because of the ball, he
Off the
offers
ball,
so much.
He will take yellow
And-
card.
and they will
You
get
need
the ball.
5 minutes.
At least he has to
By
start.
50
you need
minutes,
players-
red card.
energy.
you need players
In that
who
industry.
run and cover the spaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Players who are, you see, players who are built to
Athletic.
do that job.
Yeah, athletic.
Yes.
Onye be that.
So you drop Mane for Gallagher,
I'll drop Menu for Gallagher.
drop Phil Foden for
I'll drop
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Watkins.
Either Harry Kane or Foden, but Gordon, Watkins,
Yes.
Saka,
Gordon
So
and
then
Watkins.
it means Harry Kane and Phil Foden bench.
bench.
You see,
Straight.
the
And
problem
then
is
Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, and Rice.
they will all take yellow card in the first.
England
15
will win
minutes.
the game 1-0.
That's an
Pickford, man of the match.
That's an
But you see, what
That's an interesting one.
Danny says is very
I need
okay,
to-
Achu has to come in.
yeah.
They go to Achu.
Achu.
What you bear for?
So you
Think of man
forget
of the
about the
match.
semis. Let's talk.
After-
Pick on what they're talking about. What we are
Just
talking
at one
about.
point,
The
after
final.
all the Gordon and changes, pick for man of the match. Already bear 4. Pick for way.
Actually, what would it come down to?
One of the things that served the Spanish well against France is something they would have to tweak a bit against England.
Okay.
The freedom they enjoyed in the middle and how easily they dragged France out of position, especially in the middle of, they won't get that against England. Rather, what will serve them well is the ability of the individual players to turn under pressure, to dribble out of tight spaces, and so those short combination passes.
Actually,
That
are
is
you saying
something-
that this England midfield is better than the French midfield?
Let him finish, coach. He hasn't even made his point.
What is even the correlation between what you just said and
conclusion?
what I was describing?
Go.
That is something that will be different from everything England encounters.
Take his microphone away from him. You will let somebody else talk.
Everything-
I'm not going to. But after I've been very good.
Thank you. See, so we should clap for him or what?
That would be the difference between what England faced in the semi-final. Because after Memphis went off and the Dutch went man-to-man,
Mhm.
when they had the ball, they still didn't have players who could play in tight spaces or dribble out of or under pressure so that they could sustain pressure and have meaningful possession in the attacking third.
Okay.
And so every time they had the ball, they needed to come short and then they would lose it. Spain won't have that problem because they have players who either can get out of that through their short combination passes or dribbling out of it.
Yeah.
What I don't expect them to have is how easily they could carve the French open and how they stretch that midfield. And it looked like they had 8 or 9 midfielders. Meanwhile, it was just 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like Daniel has explained, if there's one thing we've seen under Gareth Southgate, he manages some of these games better.
Mm-hmm.
Except that this is a Spanish team that, for all intents and purposes, is used to particularly the sort of problem England are likely to pose. That's why Southgate, if he's to stand a chance, needs to make radical changes.
Do you agree with Daniel?
I agree with him.
Personal changes. Okay,
Yes.
let's go through them.
So he needs someone who will stretch the pitch in the final third, run into the channels, force the defenders into zones that they normally would not make. And that's not Harry Kane's game. However, I'm conflicted because when England have the ball, because you're not going to sit deep for 90 minutes, you will need someone who will come up short and help you to sustain possession, even if it is for 90 seconds, right? To be able to make something meaningful, because in that sort of game, you will not be able to determine how the chances are going to come or how the openings are going to come for you to play those passes. My estimation is that they will need to have a bit of the ball. And I think they are capable of that. Look, they don't need to match Spain 50% of ball possession. Right? They don't need to match Spain.
Press.
And when the chances do come, you want them to fall to your best finishers.
Exactly.
And that's why you need Kane.
That's what. No, I need Kane for something different.
Okay.
You need Kane
to be able to put the ball for the 1, 2, few seconds.
That draws them out of position and allows England to play.
Actually, not to cut you. The reason why I'm saying drop Kane, we know what he can do. And ideally, in this situation, obviously, he's not a striker that's going to run in behind. Exactly what you're saying. But there's something off about him. And I don't trust that. I don't trust that he can give that in the final.
So ultimately, that will come down to the coach's decision. And this is something he cannot get it wrong. If and because you don't need half-hearted players or someone with 70% because they will switch off one moment, or there's going to be that run that they cannot track, and that is where the goal is going to come from. So you need players who can cover that much space, but more importantly, help you to clog that midfield for as long as possible. And then when you have the ball, have players who you can release.
Therefore, Gordon.
That is where you revert to what served Southgate very well in the earlier years. Someone in the mode of Rashford or Sterling, and then Saka on the other side. So Anthony Gordon. Right? And I would take the gamble of playing Trent in this game.
Where?
If you're going with a back 3,
where?
Find a way to accommodate him on that right side.
Wing back.
Yes. Find a way to accommodate him on that right side as a wing back. So that if you don't have Harry Kane on the pitch, you have someone who can let the team loose. Because apart from Trent, there is no player in that English team who can hit those diagonals at once. Especially when the team has not had momentum. Who gets the ball in that
you need a quick release.
Who can
somebody doesn't need a lot of time to think about it.
You will not be there.
So
you pressure him at the back there.
But you see, there are in this tournament, the way the French handled, or the way the Spanish team created that isolation or maintained that without necessarily even needing it for their regular attacking momentum, or the moments when they attack, they didn't really need to go through that side, but they just needed him to hold that width to bring others into play. You also need to fashion out a way to protect that space. And for as much as possible, avoid him being exposed in 1v1 situations. You know the defects that he has in his game. Your job is to, for as much as possible, create the scenarios where he will thrive and try set up in a manner that protects him from being exposed in those situations. I don't think you are going to get a cricket score. This Spanish team, that performance in the second half is what even convinces me that they'll probably win, but we're not going to get a 3-0 or 4-0 because when they know that they are 2-0, 1-0 up in that second half,
they're not in a rush to score another one.
They will switch into game management mode and they'll close up the game.
That is if the opponent doesn't stop.
Here's what
close up the game.
Yeah. Here's another thing that I want you to pick on. This is a Second successive final for him in the Euros. England.
The
first one,
of England.
he was criticized a lot
because he didn't go to his bench early.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How that's it. For example, in this game against Spain, coach says scoring against Spain first is like poking the bear.
That's not
the best thing to do for this.
That's not true.
Do you think they have it in them?
They have it
to be able to prevent Spain from scoring if they get a first goal.
That game, and you see, football is a game of.
Stop talking about football.
Football is a game of fine margins.
Keep a clean sheet against me.
Football is a game of fine margins. In that opening 20 minutes, friends,
yes,
there were some schoolboy errors that France made. I do not expect England to make them.
And they've made several errors.
When you have three,
can
I finish?
You coach, allow.
Been punished.
The only question you can ask is that the French more mistake prone than the English? That's the question I should ask to ask.
Wait, not. So let me make the point. In that opening 20 minutes,
yes,
they are not considering one goal.
Coach, will you keep quiet over there? Oh my God! You have undone all your good works. Look at This is Inna. You like the guy is making his point. Then you come in. Then you say, you have been a good boy. We should clap for you. Then 2 minutes later,
the whole point of playing 3-ball winners.
Yes.
We excuse it because presumably they'll be able to pick up third man runs like some of the instances we saw in that game. Especially when it is from a central midfielder. I'm saying to you that it was criminal for France to allow Spain to create the first 20 minutes, those 2 chances that Fabian Ruiz had, those headers that did not go. It is not acceptable. Even when you have 2 holding midfielders, the entire strategy has to be that you have seen this guy make some of these runs. Somebody has to just assign somebody to track that run. I don't expect that level of naivety from England.
You don't?
No. Look.
It's not like the English have been overly impressive like that themselves.
Spain there's variety to the attacking style. We saw the goal that Dani Olmo scored out of nothing. Rodri's goal in the earlier rounds. So they can carve you out in different ways.
Okay.
But when in 20 minutes, it's happened on 3 occasions, there's a coaching problem.
So what do you think is going to happen in this final?
I think Spain have the advantage, but it's going to be a super close game. England,
not anything like what this man.
I'll be sure unless we have, for example, maybe a red card or some,
or unless he starts with the
starting lineup. Yes,
and then because want to play some now and
clear adjustments have to be made. Look, clear adjustments have to be made, and I think that if he makes those adjustments to reflect the strength of the Spanish team, they've got a better chance. Look,
okay.
I was wrong about Spain in my projections, and a lot
Say
of
it
us,
again.
I was wrong about Spain in my projections.
Again.
And a lot of us
say it again.
A lot of us
say
did
it
not
again.
expect.
Say it twice.
What's the problem?
I want 3 times.
A lot of us did not expect them to come this far. But
Please. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Apart from Chris, who here said they will make the final?
Nobody said
but we didn't also say they will flop.
I said a lot of us did not expect they will make it this far. What are you responding to?
No.
I said
speak for
a lot
yourself.
of us did not expect them. Did you expect them to make it this far?
What is wrong with you saying, I didn't expect them to go this far? Why are you including us?
Did you expect them to come to the final? Did you?
Yes, in my bracket, I projected them to be in the semis.
Final.
I said this far.
This far, which means they
Don't do this.
That's different from saying I wanted them to
What's
be a
semantics?
flop.
So this is semantics.
It's not semantics.
Don't do it.
You said we'll flop.
Don't do it.
Yes, but I didn't predict they were going to get to the final.
But I've already admitted to it.
For somebody
How many people
who emphatically said
They will be a flop.
be a flop.
Please,
Yes.
let me
Talk for yourself.
Let me move on.
No, he's admitted that he got his predictions wrong. But he
From
still says that.
No,
Say I said.
It is the English that is confusing.
He didn't think they'll come this far.
How
So you do think they'll
come
come for
this far?
themselves?
No, they've come to the
Did you
final.
think they'll come this far?
They've
Yes,
got
I picked them in my head.
No,
than
do you
he
think they'll
predicted.
come
So
this
did
far?
you think they'll
Yes.
come this far?
If you thought they would, why didn't you say it?
Allow Achu. He said
If you thought they would come this far, why didn't you say it?
What are you saying?
Why?
What is wrong with what
Do
I
you say
said?
everything you think?
You are the ones confused.
Do you say everything
Achu
you
said
think?
You are the ones
It's not
confused.
factual.
Do you have everything
Did
you
you
think?
think they'll come to the
Yes,
final?
I thought.
Did you say they'll come to the
Let's move
final?
on then.
I didn't say.
Achu,
You are the ones confused.
It's okay.
In this
Tell me
room,
this.
only Chris said
No problem.
It makes sense.
It makes sense when you freeze. Now you to ask me the same question.
Did you say they'll come to the final?
Did I say they'll come to the final? No.
Okay.
Did I think they'll come to the final? Yes.
So why didn't you say it?
I didn't say. You didn't ask me.
Wow.
That's right.
By your brackets were
That's
there.
right.
Your brackets.
I had to choose between a lot of teams.
That's
Yes.
right. And there was Portugal's, yes. In that.
When I was mentioning it, I said my heart.
In the end,
yes.
you did not
what
say
I
it.
thought.
All right.
In the end, in this room, only one person said
Chicho,
you
You
I
come
said
this
no
far.
flop.
Okay,
So
thank
don't
you.
include us.
Only one person said they will
No
come this
wahala.
far.
Thank
I am
you.
right.
Okay.
All of you are wrong.
Thank you. We hear you. Thank you, Professor.
So,
Thank you,
the truth is that
Professor. Thank you. Professor Tamaklo.
if you look at the performance and even the numbers,
Yes.
they are having an all-time tournament.
Yeah.
First team in the history of the competition to win 6 consecutive games in
Wow.
one competition. First team in the history of the Euros to win 6 consecutive games over any championship whatsoever. They're scoring more than they've ever done. They're playing with a lot more freedom. And the variety in attacking threats is something you have to take seriously.
Oh, everybody's
So
a
I'm just
threat.
going to conclude by saying that he needs to approach this game to reflect his respect for the Spanish team and the threats they pose to his team. You can't go into that game with this same lineup and this same setup, especially, and get anything.
Sicho, I think you wanted to say something about the final. Make it brief for me. The last thing about the final.
The final is going to be close. England have got what it takes to punish Spain for the way they are playing. And what Danny says, I get what Danny is saying, and I lean towards it, but I don't think Southgate is going to do it.
That's the issue.
And the reason why I don't think he's going to do it because over the last 3 games, when he's changed the back 3 and chosen this personnel, they began to find some momentum.
Yes.
So
And rhythm.
So you'd want to keep it. The other risk too is if you ring in the changes that we are calling for, like Gordon starts, Watkins starts, and it doesn't work.
Oh, yes.
You have to fall back to what you know will not necessarily upset the balance of the Spanish team. So it's wiser maybe that he starts with what he knows has worked in the last few games. Manage the game in a way that they are not in trouble. And then when he rings the changes, it can cause an effect that if that change doesn't work, nothing's poor. But if you ring that change early and it doesn't work, everything's poor. Right? And the reason I think England have got something about them is when it comes to some individual battles, I think England have got the upper hand. I don't see Nico Williams outdoing Kyle Walker. I don't see it.
He's had a very bad
He says he doesn't see it.
I don't, 1v1, nobody has got the better of him. The problem with Kyle Walker is positional awareness.
Thank you.
When the ball has come centrally and positionally, he has to be aware of danger.
He has the same problem as Wan-Bissaka.
Yes.
But one-on-one.
And one-on-one, nobody, not even Vinicius, nobody, not even Mbappe outruns or outdoes Kyle Walker. 1v1. Why? In the dribble pass. In the
Nico
dribble
is a
pass.
better dribbler
The dribble
than
pass.
Vinicius.
The dribble pass
This
Vinicius.
Kyle Walker, they do it. This, I'm trying to say, look,
He has
in that game against Switzerland, he had a stinker of a game. Unless you don't want to be honest.
He made wrong decisions.
Positionally. And I think maybe
Sicho,
Luke
go on.
Shaw. I think maybe Luke Shaw
Forget coach.
starts, or even if he doesn't start, right? I think if Luke Shaw starts,
behave yourself.
You could have said all of these things when he had the back. He didn't.
I think if Luke
Sicho, go on.
I think if Luke Shaw starts, he also has a game on Lamine Yamal in terms of physicality. Yeah, I think he does.
Dribble onto his rifle.
No, I think he does. I think he will let Lamine Yamal have the win.
Spain have a
right?
solution for everything England is bringing.
Now,
Luke Shaw is not
when
no.
I think no. You see, the thing about
Sicho,
Lamine
go
is
on. Let Sicho make it right.
I think about Lamine is on the ball he's good. He doesn't quite have the best. So if he has to take the ball and
go past him
and decide that
he could dribble him.
I'm losing my position to pass and then move and then make it tidy. He's brilliant at that. And he knows his game. He knows it's not the quickest. It's not Nico Williams.
Yes.
So he doesn't rely on his pace, right? But if he has to be a proper winger on the day, and throughout this competition, really, he hasn't been about the way he goes past people.
No.
That's not his game.
Especially also because when he goes wide, he has to cross with his right foot.
So when it comes to them locking him down the width, if he stays there and ghosting past people, I think England have got something to stop that. 1v1, England can deal with it, right? Okay.
You wait. You go
I'm talking to coach.
The microphones are sensitive.
Why are we having another meeting?
Do you know that?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Yeah, he said you
He said he will dribble past everybody in the competition.
Why were you listening to me?
I listen to
But
our
the
feedback,
microphone,
our
especially when the
conversations.
podcast goes out, when he's talking,
No, but
we can hear what you are
No,
saying.
but what I'm saying is what I'm saying is that England have got, and when it comes to Alvaro Morata as a striker, yeah, as decent as it's been, it's not had a great tournament. But this is the danger England need to curb. Throughout this competition, it's been reoccurring. Spain have been dangerous with the third man's run into the box. Like Mikel Moreno against Germany. Rodri's goal when they were in trouble against Georgia. Fabian Ruiz header against Pedri against Italy. Nico Williams coming in as a third man when Morata crossed from him against the Netherlands, I think. Netherlands. Yeah. No, Italy. Against Italy. Yeah. Now, it is something that they've done throughout the competition, the third man running into the box. Like, throughout, Dani Olmo.
I was disappointed the French allowed it that early.
Dani Olmo.
You won't see it.
No, it is there, Dani Olmo. So the English midfield must be ready to run back. Yes, because they need to track that. So I agree that the industry of Gallagher might be important. Or the midfield need to be communicating.
Keep quiet.
Charlie, until Sito finishes, kill their microphones. Yeah, until Sito finishes.
What is the meaning of this?
That's
some credit.
I don't wait to use it. When I was talking, my submission became a general submission. I didn't get any.
That is different from what you are doing.
No, it's different when the person is making
You can interject and make the point. You will listen.
No, but quiet. It's different when the person is making their interjection head and you keep quiet for them to finish. He's talking, then the two of you are having your own conversation.
No, he just passed the comment to me. You are not supposed to listen to me.
Why?
So I can't chat with coach again.
No, not when somebody's talking.
Oh, wow.
You make Zelensky talk.
Charlie, it's almost time.
So my thing is, England needs to be mindful of those third rounds because Spain throughout the tournament they've shown.
Yeah.
They've killed teams with that. Right? Sometimes I don't see it coming. Sometimes midfielders are just being lazy, they're not tracking it. So they need to be on their game. But when Spain have created these chances, they have not done that without leaving spaces that England can exploit. Right? And against France, we even saw France. Mbappe was so off color that if Mbappe was
apart from the cross.
No, coach.
There were only one
transition.
It's not what he did on the ball. Even the moment Conte won a certain ball, he had a certain ball. There was a clear pass one for them to start something with Dembele. He missed it.
They should go and do it.
So what I'm saying is,
even Theo Hernandez, didn't he get some?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying that the way Spain plays, and we saw it against Germany.
We saw it against Italy. We saw it against Italy.
Kamaka just couldn't hold on to the ball.
You saw those things against Germany. Quality opposition. This England team.
We saw it against Italy.
It's not just Germany.
It's not just Germany. We saw it against France. We saw it against Italy.
It's okay. So
what I'm trying to say is
wrap it up.
What I'm trying to say is that England would have the openings to hurt Spain if Spain play the way they've played in this competition.
Okay.
The question is, can England make the most of those things? And let's face it, England have got some technically good players in the squad as well. My thinking is they cannot go boot for boot with Spain. But that suits Gareth Southgate. Why? All the fans in the stadium will understand that they won't have enough of the ball.
True.
One of the things that has worried England is all their fans, when they play against teams that they consider are better than, expect them to have the ball. So in the stands, they show frustration when they don't have the ball. But Danny said it, England are better without it. In this game, all of them will be expecting them not to see a lot of the ball. There wouldn't be too much pressure on them to necessarily hold the ball and pass.
It's the tackles and the counter that will
when
change.
they have the ball, the few times they have the ball, how they are able to plan their transition and execute it, that is what will make the difference. That is what will make the difference.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think that Spain are favorites, obviously being the best team in the competition. But England have got what it takes.
Who wins for you?
Well, I've said I think Spain will win. I think Spain are going to win.
Daniel.
I thought Spain will win. But right now, I want England to win so that you prove this guy wrong. Because England can win. Oh, quick advice to Lamine Yamal and Barcelona and Spain. Charlie, they've done Gavi, they've done Pedri, they've done Ansu Fati.
Thank you.
Beg them. This boy, he's a star. but he's just 16. You should manage him.
Load shedding.
They like overloading the players with too much, too many minutes.
The guy has started. He's played 37 league games out of 38 last season. He's come to play all the Euro games. Preseason, he's going straight back into the.
He will sleep. He's going back to school.
We beg him.
He's going back to.
Is Spain going to the Olympics?
I don't know, but he's not part of.
Look, he's not going to the Olympics.
Let me tell you something. Thank you. You understand that?
All that analysis mean nothing.
Egba. You understand that?
Yes.
England.
Egba form. They should go to the sky, the moon, and back down. They will lose.
I've told you Spain will win this tournament from the very beginning.
Are you changing your mind on that cricket score?
No.
You see,
he has to
let me
change
tell
his
you
mind.
something.
You did change your mind?
It's about the crew.
When we pass
of
on
3.
16, did you change your mind?
If they don't beat them 3 and they beat them 1, the crew is gone to Spain.
That's right.
We'll take it to England.
On the front of the tournament, to be serious, Tino.
Yes,
This
we
is
need to
watch on
this is the only
fight.
time in the history of any punditry, anything in life that
Wait,
I've
does
seen
it-
somebody
the
flop for a
flop
tournament
is in the final.
literally be the best team in the tournament.
What did he see before the tournament?
You see small boys Norway is a Eagles.
Did you say they were going to the final?
Nobody said
No.
As I said,
But he,
did not disrespect the finalists by saying they'll be
The flop.
As I said,
I sat here.
because you
majority of us did not expect
I
them to
sat
come
here.
back.
Because the other than-
I sat
because they play
here
ball.
directly opposite. Like I'm
Okay, guys.
sitting.
You
Wait, wait,
we
wait,
are wrapping it up.
You remember
He rubbish
We
my
are-
team. Wait, let me face him.
You promise it. I don't give you
Face him, good for good. Face him.
Look,
Thank you.
I sat opposite you that
Opposite
day.
that day.
When I was saying my team Spain will win the cup,
Right.
you said they'll be the flop. You better apologize.
Yeah.
On condition.
He said England will be them.
You are
Because
wasting
of
your
what you
pride. You are wasting your situation.
Because of what you have
You
done.
know,
I want
guys,
England to
you know
beat
what
them.
we'll do?
You finish and say
If Spain win this tournament, we'll post that Achu video.
Yes. My buddy, you should get that.
Where's the editor?
Get that.
Wait, which episode was it? Was it the bracket?
start
No,
of the-
the start of the Euros.
That's right.
The very first episode we did on the Euros.
In fact, today you were going through it. I saw him going. Yeah, he was going.
Yeah,
through
you
it.
are going. You saw where he said Spain will flop.
The God I serve will not disgrace me.
They are
You've already
Brother,
been
they are getting ready to
Don't bring
dirty
God
you.
into this.
Achu, call on all the boss you can call on. Because this must not
Who
happen.
did you pick for flop of the tournament?
I wasn't here for that.
Because brother, and you know the
Well, I think he
father
said
say,
England.
they will, you know what to do.
You said
The best-
England.
He said England.
By England flop.
And you're in the final. You don't be serious.
No.
You
England are in the
don't
final.
be serious.
England are in the
You don't be
final.
serious.
England are in the
I
final.
said, wait, I said Germany or something.
He didn't say England.
Yes.
I said Germany or something.
Do you know the
Those videos
best?
are-
Do you know the
Go
best thing about the video? You cut the video and make it ready before the final. If Spain win after the final whistle,
Listen, no, Charlie,
we will erode.
put.
Do you know what? It will erode 85% of his banditry credit.
You know what you should add to it? The inner man doing these things.
Look for mine and look for Danis. England will be flop of the tournament.
Pray that this team does not win. Okay, guys, that's our episode. It's been a very fun one. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, listen, guys, we try all we can, but this is why it's a podcast. You can't stop the people from doing their thing. So I think some of you who come into the comments, you're very annoyed by the interjections, and it's what makes it.
But this one is not
No, that's what I'm saying. It's what makes it beautiful. So please, we beg you, bear with us, okay? You just bear with us. It is part of it. It's what makes the personalities what they are.
He normally reaches for orgasm. Ask him what are those feelings.
So sometimes we can't control it. We beg you. We are trying.
The only advice is don't listen to it in the office or in the car.
So,
You embarrass yourself.
we know the finalists now. What we're going to do is ask you to predict again what you think will happen in the final. Not just who will win, but give us a scoreline. If you get the accurate scoreline, we'll add those ones to the list that we have. We'll give them to the best way guys, and they'll see how they can reward you guys. So let me know in the comments.
So it's official giveaway.
Oh, I have to force the people to do giveaway. That people deserve some. If you live outside the country, then I will give your giveaway to someone who lives in the country. It's charity. It's nice. So don't worry.
I know the Kuf Town baby. The time she thought she might pain Akipa.
Where is this coming from?
You tried the man.
Oh my
Where
God.
is this coming from?
What is all this?
Where is this coming from?
You are a very foolish boy.
No, he
very
said
foolish
something.
boy.
So I shouldn't
He
tell
said
them.
something
very
last
foolish
week.
boy.
I shouldn't
He
speak
said
their
something last week that I can't say.
This is why his
He
pastoral
has
career
never
ended.
experienced it when he's been sick.
Mm.
You want to
Oh,
continue.
finish it.
Good. He said he's never experienced something.
Man United,
End the podcast.
Man United had just bought a player.
Yeah.
They call him on.
Zegzi.
Everything about this man.
Zegzi.
End the podcast.
Guys, that's our episode. Let me know in the predictions, in the comment section, your prediction for the final. Correct score. Let me know in the comment section. But share, like, subscribe, put the notification bell on. This episode will go up first thing Saturday, and you guys can enjoy it as much as possible. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time.
We love you.
We love you guys a lot. Okay, we'll be back again next week to review the Euro 2024 final.
Now you say nah.
Oh,
I should say something.
you see why? Even signing after, they won't let me do it in peace. But it's good to have all the guys back. Christopher, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Vladimir Achrimuk Sichov, a.k.a. Tatov and Patov. Achichazam, Professor Tamakro.
Nah.
We're back again next week. Thank you.